LSU looks like it's only going to get stronger. Yes, sorry for that. If you don't know, LSU has the 2024 number one recruit Sarah Strong in their sights. But that's not all. They also have two other top 10 recruits potentially lined up to sign with them in the 2024 class as well. It seems like LSU might have an advantage in recruiting that other programs like UConn and South Carolina might be missing out on. And South Carolina has already tried to implement a strategy to catch up. But we'll outline that later in the video. Now, usually when teams win a championship, they get fat and happy, which is dangerous for teams. But Kim Mulkey don't work that way. Yes, after the season, despite bringing in the number one recruiting class in 2023, Mulkey decided to further fatten up the reserves via the transfer portal, landing HVL and Morrow. Assistant coach Gary Redus did a good job of explaining the LSU mindset.
I mean, honestly, we kind of wanted to make a little statement. I think that, you win the championship and you can get a little complacent, but we're trying to start something really big. And Coach Mulkey just got here, and we don't want to win and fizzle away. We want to win, and we want to keep winning and keep winning and keep winning. So to be able to snag those two out of the portal and put them with our number one ranked recruiting class was huge for us.
So little surprise that LSU is looking to crush again in recruiting, which starts with five-star forward Sarah Strong, who made her way to Baton Rouge in early September for an official visit with Mulkey and the Tigers. She competed over the summer in Hungary alongside LSU incoming freshman Michaela Williams in the under-18 3-on-3 competition. It's clear that LSU has visions of pairing Williams and Strong up together in the future, as they are putting on the full court press to get it done, as assistant coaches Gary Redus and Bob Starkey traveled up to North Carolina for an in-home visit with Strong and her family. LSU seems like the team to beat here for Strong, as she does not have any other official visits lined up, and the Tigers are really, really pushing to close the deal. But wait, there's more. Yes, I sound like an info commercial. LSU has figured, why stop with that? Why not go after number 5 prospect in the 2024 cycle, which is Kate Koval, who is a 6'5" post player. She visited Stanford in the spring and now is in the process of taking 3 visits over the month of September, and her recent visit to LSU coincided with Sarah Strong's visit. Now, she is also going to check out Miami and Notre Dame, which are on the schools that she will visit. But I did note some of the Notre Dame message boards who were very nervous that she went to LSU first, as LSU is sort of like a cockroach motel, if you like, when it comes to recruiting. Or should I say like Hotel California? They check in, but they don't check out. Just ask Don Staley, as both Morrow and Reese canceled their scheduled trips to USC after first visiting LSU. But that is not all, of course. The rich might even get richer, or at the very least, they have a backup plan, as Justice Carlton, another 5-star prospect who was rated number 7 overall on the recruit list by ESPN, narrowed down her top 5 schools to Arizona, UConn, South Carolina, Texas, and yes, of course, LSU, because everybody's on LSU's list. As I mentioned, after winning a championship, there's a danger of getting fat and happy. Well, at LSU, complacency is not a problem, but Mulkey's purse might be, or should I say, is going to get fat, as she got a new pay raise. Mulkey's salary for this season has been bumped up from $2.6 million to $3.15 million, making her the highest paid coach in women's basketball, as she surpasses both Staley and Auriemma, who will make $3.1 million this season. By the way, I know all these contracts have incentives, and Gino or Staley might wind up making more. But overall, I think the point is, Mulkey is now in the penthouse in terms of salary. And that was the big headline this week.
I think I hear money in here, y'all. Let me take y'all around this corner. I'm really getting money, really getting money, really getting money, really getting money. Oh, here she go.
But I think underreported and is more interesting is that her assistants got paid as well. Associate head coach Bob Starkey got a 3-year deal worth just over $1 million. Starkey's the perfect assistant as he's experienced and has no eyes on a head coaching position. In addition, he's previously coached the LSU's men's program and women's program, so he's at home in Louisiana. That is why he's being rewarded. Now, assistant coach Gary Redus is only in his second year at LSU and got a nice bump on his pay as well, as they increased his salary to $275K this year and $305K next year, which is not bad for a guy who was a grad assistant coach just 5 years ago. Why the pay raise? Well, this guy can flat out recruit. Now, Redus is the son of Gary Redus, who, I don't know if you remember, he came up with the Cincinnati Reds baseball team and played pro baseball for like 14 years or something like that. Well, Gary Redus II played pro basketball overseas in China, South America, Mexico, and the Middle East for about 4 years, but realized basketball was not going to get him where he wanted to go, at least playing pro ball. He sort of fell into coaching as his career was winding down, as his sister asked him to GA at West Georgia. He immediately fell in love with coaching. The next year, he scored a job at Delta State, where he stayed for 1 year, but brought in a good recruiting class. Then just after 1 year, Vanderbilt came calling and recruited him to be their assistant coach. Redus went there and he was able to recruit at Vanderbilt. He brought in good classes. They just could not win. It was under Stephanie White was the coach. And after 3 years, they got fired and he wound up going to SMU. After Kim Mulkey's first year at LSU, she wound up hiring Redus and Starkey in April of 22. Since then, LSU, they have been on a heater as far as recruiting goes. They signed Michaela Williams, the number 2 recruit, in June of 22. And then they landed Aaliyah Del Rosario, who was the number 7 recruit in the nation. Not to mention they also landed Angelica Velez, who was ranked number 44, and Janae Kent, the number 73 recruit in the nation. Now, it appears LSU is on track for another massive recruiting haul in the 2024 class. Redus has been doing a number of interviews since LSU won the championship. You can tell he's going to be a head coach. He's looking to get a head coaching job. If I was a mid-major, I'd hire this guy. But anyway, he explained his method in terms of recruiting, which is he avoids just Xing and Oing kids and tries to relate to the players, as he feels like they're constantly getting bombarded with coaches and you need to stand out. This tactic seems very effective. Sarah Strong, for instance, when she was asked if any recruiters stuck out to her, she said, "It's Coach G at LSU because he will just call me and tell me some new food he tried at Chipotle and be interesting," she said. Again, I think it's probably a fait accompli that Strong's going to wind up going to LSU, as Redus has another recruiting advantage with Sarah Strong, which is her dad, Danny Strong, who's a former NC State basketball player who also played overseas. So you know Redus and Danny Strong are just cutting it up when he goes there to recruit Sarah Strong. I just see no way she doesn't go to LSU. Now, I know I spoke a lot of S about Kim Mulkey's non-conference schedule, which I stick by. But to be clear, I was not casting any shade on her coaching ability or her ability to run a program. I think her hiring Redus was just a brilliant move. She took a chance on a not well-known coach at SMU and brought him in. And you might say, big deal, any coach could do that. But oftentimes these coaches love to stay in-house or within the family, if you like, much like North Carolina men's program for basketball. It always has to be like a North Carolina ex-player or somebody that was coached by Dean Smith and yada, yada, yada. So I think this is great. She's willing to look for different people to find the best person for the job, and it is paying off for her. But this is a point of difference between LSU and UConn. UConn is very much of the North Carolina keep it in the family mentality, as their last 5 assistant coaching hires have either played, coached, or done both at UConn. The last time they hired someone without any experience in the program was Marissa Mosley back in 2009. Now, I'm not saying what UConn is doing is wrong, as it's worked for them, but I do think it's good to bring in outside voices into the mix. And Redus is a good voice to have as he relates to young players, which helps in recruiting. Now, what does Dawn Staley think about all this? Well, she just welcomed new assistant coach Winston Gandy to the South Carolina coaching staff in April, saying, "Winston is exactly the type of person we love having in our program because of the way he develops true connections with young people," Staley said. "He is a highly sought after young talent in our game, and I'm so happy he is bringing his basketball mind and his ability to recruit and develop talent to Columbia." Thanks a lot for watching. If you enjoy the content, please like and subscribe. As well, your poison's always welcome. Good night.